Superhumans, hello and welcome back to our channel and another video. I'm Lori. Today, how can the practices of TRE and grounding be your portal to your freedom? If you're new here on this channel, know that our whole goal is to guide you in rediscovering your own truth, aliveness, and freedom within. As we all know by now, we all have the knowledge that we are born really being our true essence, and then we take on all kinds of layers and layers and layers of social conditioning to the point that we are looking at our lives, perceiving everything that's happening in our lives through these glasses of conditioning. And in fact, they're not even glasses anymore, because glasses you could actually see. They're actually more like contact lenses. They are so melded into our eyes. They are so part of our perception. So true freedom is really rediscovering who we are underneath these patterns that are so part of us that we may not even know that they are not us. A lot of these main messages from social conditioning is it's really hard, you don't have what it takes, it's going to take time, it's out there somewhere, you have to deserve it, you have to earn it, you have to be committed, you have to be disciplined. And so, of course, we are naturally going to apply all of this to our healing journey. Even to think that it's a healing journey out there somewhere we have to get to is already part of that same social conditioning. So how is it that we begin to wake up more and more to other layers of this conditioning when this conditioning is actually like contact lenses that we're actually looking through? Well, certainly having a practice like TRE, tension releasing exercises by Dr. David Berceli, is a pretty surefire way to help us do that, because it actually deactivates, down-regulates, and calms down our overstimulated, overactive nervous systems that never get to release anything, because that conditioning is also teaching us and having us experience holding everything inside and not really expressing what we need to and acting the way that we're supposed to, so it all gets kept inside. When we start to down-regulate our nervous system through using TRE, which activates a natural shaking mechanism that we've all learned to shut off because we think shaking makes us look really weak or sick. Once we start turning that on, then what starts to happen is we release a lot of adrenaline and cortisol in our system that's been floating around in there, keeping us in a big state of survival, when in fact everything around us is safe, because we've gone up in our nervous systems for threats so many times and didn't allow our natural process of shaking to bring us back down to a normal state. So once you've released a lot of this cortisol and adrenaline from your system that's been lingering here, keeping you in an overstimulated state, all of a sudden we start to feel we need less protection, because we're starting to feel safer within ourselves. We're feeling more connected to who we are, to this existence, to this truth that is underneath all this conditioning. This gives us space. When we live in survival, which is just natural for us now on this planet, it's very difficult to have any space because we're constantly in reaction mode. But when we start to create space and safety within us, suddenly these patterns that before we had no idea were here start to pop up here and there naturally. Now, add on a practice of grounding to this TRE, which means really understanding and getting acquainted with our own nervous system, really self-regulating it to really start to notice what are our personal signs of activation of the nervous system now that we have more space within us, because we're not carrying around all of this cortisol, adrenaline, opioids in our system. And in that moment, we can actually choose to do some kind of self-care, some kind of grounding, something different than our nervous system has built in to do, like a reaction of flighting the situation, of just shutting off so you don't feel it, of just blaming someone, of just going inward for whatever how long. These are all the ways that our nervous system has learned to deal with some triggers and some stress that come on. And it's done that so many times just in one day, all of our lives. It's like a big train that's just chugging down that track. So if in the moment when that trigger comes on, there's enough space within us and safety to be able to manage perhaps what that trigger is bringing up, to actually start to slow down that train and eventually change tracks. That's the portal to freedom right there. Part of that social conditioning is telling us we're to meditate, we are to, maybe it's pray, it's many practices depending on what we've learned, and that will take us somewhere. And that we might have this big moment, this big euphoric moment. However, that is still conditioning that it's out there somewhere. Grounding in the moment really creates that opportunity to rediscover what is here now underneath all of these triggers that have taken us away all the time. When we tap in to who we are underneath all of this, it becomes very obvious, very quick, how whole, complete, fulfilling, compassionate, trusting this place is. So a regulated practice of TRE and grounding, particularly in the moment grounding, which is in the moment of heat when we are triggered and our nervous system is about to jump on that train, and you have this extra half second because you have this space, the safety within you now to do something different, to veer the course, to reverse this, along with some knowledge about the nervous system, your nervous system, how it talks to you, and what is conditioning. This is a really good recipe to discover more and more of our own freedom. And of course, our social conditioning is saying, I want all the freedom and I want it now. However, it's meant to be done in more of a regulated way, and to recognize that for every time we just rediscover just a bit of that freedom, it is so massive, it is so huge, it is enough, and any more than that would actually dysregulate us. It would be too much, it would overwhelm us. And so it's to really be grateful for what's here now, and to be grateful in each moment for any part of you that you can rediscover and feel and get acquainted with. So thanks loads for being here today. I really trust that something you heard here really helps you in rediscovering your own truth, aliveness, and freedom within. Do subscribe if you're getting value from these videos. If you haven't yet, a like would be great also, and click the bell if you want to know about our videos right away. I wish you a fantastic day, and I can't wait to see you on the next video. Bye for now.